Hello and welcome to another Warcraft 3 audio commentary. Today we're going to be watching game number 5 for the show match. Game number 5. We've gone through the first 4 games. We're going to watch the 5th game. I know it's a couple days late. Sorry. I kind of had like an impromptu job interview. Speaking of which, I may be moving again really soon. That I was not expecting that. But hey, I might very well be doing that. There's very good chance. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Anyway, so let's go ahead and introduce our players. We have Mighty Cechi. Cechi. I was doing this earlier. I was pronouncing. I got it right now. It's gone again. Okay. I swear I'll get it. I swear I'll get it again at some point. The mighty yellow undead in the lower left corner of the map is Secret Valley. He is going for, once again, and why wouldn't he, the Ted Fiends, and probably going to be the aggressive build. In the upper right part of the map, we have Look Around, also known as HawK, one of the really good human players left at the game. That was a depressing way to say that, left at the game. No, but one of the few humans, I mean, we have a handful of humans who are all really good, but HawK is certainly one of the best. And he's going to be playing a conservative Archmage on Secret Valley. You could play other heroes first on this map if you wanted to, but he doesn't want to. He's going for kind of a compromise with his scout tower. He's got the scout farm down here. This is an important farm because it gives you a lot more vision. As you can see all this. This is an important area because if people come in, a lot of times they'll come in this way. If you can see them coming right here, that gives you them having to walk over a screen, pretty much 2 screens, before they get to your base to attack. So if they want to attack from that direction, that's a lot of vision. Now, it's a little bit less at nighttime, as we'll see in a bit. I mean, because right now you can see if we put the farm up here, it's almost a good half of the screen. That's a pretty big warning, pretty big indicator. So he doesn't really have the farms necessarily to afford putting out the more aggressive arcane tower, since he really still wants to put the farm in front of it. I mean, you don't have to as a human player. That's just something that we're seeing him seem to want to do, which is, it's reasonable. The Death Knight's coming on up for the harass as usual. Gonna see the Nerubian tower getting made early. Not seeing the scout footman in this game. I think it's safe to say that HawK knows exactly what the undead's going to do. He's seen him do it, I think at this point, 3 or 4 games in a row. I think it's 4 games in a row. So he's like, and it's been working, so he's probably doing it again. And yeah, he is doing it again. I mean, that's a little bit of dangerous territory, but sometimes you just have to play the metagame. And down here, he's going to try to sneak around the bottom, but hey, Scout Farm, going to show you off. And so the human, he already knows the Death Knight's coming in for the harass. He doesn't even have to do anything. He's like, it doesn't even matter. He's got his Archmage in a good enough spot that he could just run it out, just like that, and boom. We're not going to really see any problems. Now, the Skeleton Warrior did actually get entangled by the creep, and he's going to go ahead and let them finish off that with the Archmage. Going to provide a bit of experience. Going to see a second Water Elemental go down, and that is 42 experience each time, so it's up to 84 experience, which is absolutely fantastic. Got a deny on the skeleton. That's what I wanted to see, a deny on the skeleton. And just like this, he's actually managed to prevent the human from creeping out this entire camp. Now there's just the huntsman that's going to be left, which is a pretty cool thing to do. He delayed long enough, and the human probably trying to hit some sort of timing here on his expansion. I'm going to go ahead and say the green's not really worth it. I need to go to the expansion. I need to get that crept out. Probably just trying to do it before too many fiends are out, because as you can see, we already have 2 fiends that are pretty much there. We are seeing a tech coming in from the undead, but he's still doing very aggressive here. He's trying to go for those steel. He didn't quite net it. As you can see, still at 84 experience. That's the 2 water elementals. And the human player is not level 3, which means he's probably going to hold off on summoning that water elemental. He only has 146 mana right now, and he didn't, which I think is very strange. But he's going to just go ahead and he's going to not get level 3 because he lost the Ogre Magi there to a coil. That was a little bit sloppy because he could have stopped the attacking there, but I guess it's a little bit harder when you have 2 fiends potentially ramming down on him. We're going to see a little bit of damage going off onto the Archmage. The Archmage can take a whole lot more punishment in the early game in this matchup, as can pretty much everything, because there's 2 healing fountains on the map and one very close to the early expansion. It makes for a very intriguing early game in my opinion. I'm not really sure who I would say it benefits the most. For the human or the undead, I mean, it can really benefit either player quite a bit. It means you can be a lot more daring with your assault here. As we can see, the undead player being very daring. which is very good for the undead, because if he gets low, he just runs his fiends away to the other side of the map, and not really a big deal. It's better than losing them. But the human can also play a lot more daring, because they also have a healing fountain right here. And they also have a mana fountain, because it's not a mana fountain, but it's a brilliance wire, which is basically a mana fountain, which is pretty good. So they can kind of really, they have much better sustaining of power than the undeads do. But, you know, what does that really mean? Not a whole lot, and as we're going to see, HawK, even though he didn't have a great start there, because of that healing fountain, he is easily able to come right back into this fight and just start causing a little bit more havoc. Now, see, we've got 2 of these fiends over here. They're in the base. They're not going to have to worry too much about it. He canceled his Nerubian tower? He did. He must have, because early on, he was building one. I guess when he saw no scout footman, he said, I could use these resources better for a more aggressive early game. And so he's going to go ahead and try to use that. He's going to do a little bit of nice micro here, kill that footman a little bit faster, getting that one last pot shot off. I'm not sure if it was worth it or not, but he's going to go ahead and do it. Human player is going to come over here and creep out the Fountain of Health. He wants to get level 3 on this Archmage, and he can do that very easily. And once he has level 3, if he really feels like he could even creep up the Red Drake for the item, I am expecting him to go for some kind of a harass or push, something to delay the human, or rather the undead, just a little bit before he comes, and just let this get some towers and some kind of economy running here, because he really wants to get that tower or the expansion there up and running. And that's what he's doing. As you can see, he's just going to come straight over here. He's going to say, I don't care that much about losing footmen here. He doesn't want to lose footmen because it would give the undead the Death Knight experience, which you don't really want. As we saw before in one of the games where the hero level advantage can make the difference, you really don't want to give anybody experience in this game. But having the human getting to the late game and getting to their army is pretty big deal. So it would be worth it to lose footmen if it can. It's better to lose footmen, I'll say, than it is to lose peasants or towers at your expansion. You really don't want to lose either one of those. These are premium, and these are normal. These aren't premium. These are how do you say? I don't know what the word is. What word am I looking? Kosher, and butt. This is the kosher cuts, and these are the butt cuts. No one really cares. I mean, you'll take it, you'll eat it in a pork sandwich, but it's not kosher. You know, kosher's better, and that's how I'm going to explain. This is the worst. Okay, let's just move on. So he's coming in, he wants to go ahead, he wants to do some harassment onto the undead player's base. He wants to really ruin the economy. He has the goal of winning by economy. That's a great goal. If you can do that, it's always good. But keep in mind, he is behind in economy. He does have an expansion up, but he's behind. He slowly will regain the advantage of economy, and actually, I mean, very much so, coming with a pretty big economy advantage if he doesn't play this poorly. And that's what he's going to do here. You know, when you have a bunch of fiends defending, that's really it. Defended footmen do a great job. There is the Lich threat, which has Frost Nova, so every time those guys clump up, it can do a lot of damage. And you'll see that they're not really going to do a whole lot, but they're just going to be annoying. They're just going to buy time for the human player, and the human player needs to buy time. He doesn't need to do a lot more. And that I can't iterate that enough. I can't stress it enough. Buying time is all he has to do, because again, he is behind in economy right now. He is, with the expansion, he is making more money, but he still had a huge investment. So he has to get past the investment. He has to recoup the investment without losing the expansion, or without having to put too much more defense into the expansion. And on top of that, he needs to kind of hurt the undead's economy if he can. And that's how we see a lot of humans play. And he just teleported out. You say, that's 350 gold. That is 350 gold. But he did a lot of damage. Okay, we can see just how little damage, or how much damage it is. Look at this. The undead is sitting at 7,700 gold, and the human is sitting at 7,200 gold, or rather 7,300 really, which is a pretty big difference. The undead also isn't able to tech up to tier 3, which is something that he probably would like to do at some point. Not probably just yet, depending on just judging by the way we've been seeing him play, which is slightly longer tier 2s, but he does want to get to tier 3, and he can't do that nearly as quickly now. He doesn't have the meat wagons out yet, or he has one, so I'll take that back. He has one, but he doesn't have that many fiends either, sitting on 5 fiends. It's not a bad number of fiends, absolutely not, and 1 statue. So he's got a nice well-rounded army, but again, he could have more. He could have more, absolutely, but he had to spend a lot of resources here defending this, a lot of time, and we're going to see that happening right about now. Again, as the human player decides, I don't really want to fight you here, because if he fights him here, the meat wagon, it's just going to keep raining down, and how much is he really going to do to these units here? It's not going to be quite a lot. He's going to get kind of kited around, and he's not going to be able to get getting kind of a main objective done. And at the base, however, it's a completely different situation. But the Lich has teleported back. He has a Staff of Teleportation. And this is a pretty much one of the things where we're seeing a lot of undeads kind of thinking this is what you need to do. You can't bring your whole army back. And we saw this sort of evolution of strategy for quite a while now. While you can't bring your whole army back, there are downsides. Usually when we see this happen, we see a couple of spirit towers as well, maybe one, maybe two. If you have a nice harass mid-game from the human onto the undead, being able to make those spirit towers is a lot harder because you really have to have a critical amount to be able to push into that expansion. But down here, what we're seeing is there's not a lot that this one little hero is going to do. He's going to lose his gold mine, and he's trading it for towers and a shop at an expansion. That's just not worth it. So the Archmage is getting pretty low. There's not quite enough mana for a Frost Nova, so the Archmage knows he's not in the danger zone yet. He does have a teleport scroll. He also has a potion of invulnerability, so he can get out, and he also has a Mountain King here ready to do some more stuff if he wants to. Now, he wasn't quite able to kill the Haunted Gold Mine, but he was able to kill, it looks like, 4, maybe 5, maybe even 6 Acolytes there. I don't know. He was probably producing them the entire time. It was very kind of sketchy there for him. If he had a couple of Spirit Towers up, that would have taken way less time to defend with the Lich. So that's one thing you can kind of look at. And again, that delay that came in from the human mid-game also had a huge impact in the later game because, again, the pushing power of the human much stronger. And again, the human also, he didn't have a great start. So if the human had a better start, then he could have had a much better delay period. He could have done more damage, and he could have delayed more, and he could have delayed this push more. And you can just kind of see like, yeah, this could have went better for the human, but the human still played it really well. And the undead, he also played it pretty good, but I think he maybe made, I'm not quite sure how to say, I'm not sure where I would say the undead messed up at. It's kind of hard to tell. I was focusing more on the human throughout the game, but you can tell though, he clearly has made some mistakes here. He needed to have those spirit towers, so maybe he should have made one less fiend. Having 5 is nice, but really 4 is the critical number, and then after that, it's, I would personally say 7, but you know, I would say that's the big critical numbers. If you're having 7 or more fiends, you're in a really good shape for this this mid push. If you have 4 or more, you can actually go ahead and do it. If you have less than 4, you can't really do a very strong push here. You need to have at least 4 fiends, in my opinion. It really keeps you safe against like footmen that are defended or whatever. But it's a big help. I think it's really nice. And this, I would say, I mean, there's absolutely no doubt about it. The human has certainly recouped his advantage here, his economic advantage. He's certainly doing better. You can just look at the economies here, where we're seeing the undead player sitting at 38 food with not a whole lot of money to spare, and not a whole lot of tech going on. The human player is sitting at 500 gold, you know, 43 food. He's going into upkeep if he wants to sometime. He's got the ability to. He's at 66 or 44 out of 66 food. He's got castle. The undead doesn't have tier 3. The undead's about to lose his only source of gold income. He's trying to kill a Mountain King, but at this point you could let the Mountain King die. It doesn't really matter. You're gonna lose when you're gonna. That is a great trade to make. Haunted Gold Mine for a level 1 Mountain King. I'd make it any day, especially when it's only gonna give this Lich a bit of experience. It's not a huge deal. You just crippled the entire undead's economy. So that is game number 5. This is over. There's really nothing you're gonna see here. The human has Tri-Hero. Even if this were to go down at this point, which it's not, because it has level 3 Masonry, there's no way it's gonna happen. GG is called. Good game. That was game number 5. Really smart play from both players. Not the most exceptional game, but really good turnaround there from HawK in my opinion, because he didn't have a great start, but he used the map smart. He made some really excellent decisions, and he decided something that we hadn't seen, I think, in the previous games. I might be wrong, but I don't think we did, where he said, I'm not going to fight you. I'm going to really commit to going to your economy and really just trying to tank that there. And that's what worked, and that was really good, and that was a really great effort. Great show, in my opinion. So hopefully you learned something. Hopefully this was great, and that was game number 4, or no, game number 5. So we still have actually one more game. I've been calling it best of 5. It's actually something else. I don't know what it is. It's some kind of show match. There's game number 6 that we'll be watching tomorrow, and then after that we have another game that's planned up, and well, we'll talk about that probably tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching, and as always,